Okay. So this week is our final week of meeting the Riverwood kids. This has been the interview I've been most excited to do. This was the first character I came up with that I based off of a friend. Um, so Fatima is based off of my dear friend Dima Ali, and so today I have interviewing with me is Dima Ali. Dima, how are you doing?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you so much for being on my interview show. This is a little series I'm doing on Instagram where you meet all the kids. So very excited to have you on. Um, First question. I just sent you the picture of Fatima, and so first question is, what do you think about the character design?
I love her. I love her. She looks like my children.
Hmm.
And it really makes me feel happy that somebody I respect and I love thought of representing me because I as a Muslim immigrant woman living in Oak Park, I feel, you know, unseen. I feel unheard. No matter what, no matter how much noise I make. I'm just not there. So to have you think of this and think of me in particular and choose to represent me in this beautiful little girl is it's heartwarming.
Mm. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. My next question for you. Um, so growing up, or rather, let's actually talk about your children actually, because you grew up in Iraq.
Yes.
Your kids have grown up here.
Yes.
So your kids growing up watching American television, have they had many examples of their culture represented in children's media?
No, not at all.
And
Nothing.
how did that make them feel, or how does that make you feel as like a parent trying to show them, you know, examples of their culture represented in the country that they live in?
It always bothered me that there is no representation on TV, on books, or anything, or any media, not just about my kids, but about brown and black kids in general. Uh, they are they're they always ask, "What about us?" Especially when there's a like a religious celebration or cultural celebration in their schools. They come back to me and they go, "Oh, you should tell teachers about Islam and about Arab. We would love to see somebody like us." Or and I bring it up. Sometimes it goes well, and sometimes, many times, it doesn't. They When I told them about Fatima, they were so happy. My youngest wanted to know more about this, and she felt again she felt represented, and she was, oh, this is from specifically from Iraq. I
Hmm.
told her, yes, Mr. Maui based this character on us, on Iraqi people, and it made my kids feel very happy. It's lovely when you are represented. It's lovely when you feel you belong. It's an important component of being an immigrant person living in America because
Yeah.
we're surrounded by the message like white is beautiful. Um, all princesses are white, but when they decided to have Tiana, half of the like almost all of the movie, she was a frog, not even a princess. When you look at Jasmine, yes, she's supposed to be Arab, but it's when you compare Jasmine to other white princesses, Jasmine is very sexy. And it made me cringe. This is not me. And when you compare Snow White with Jasmine, Snow White is delicate, is nice, is well dressed. Well, Jasmine is in this outfit that does not represent me, and
Hmm.
it feels sexualized. But when I see Fatima and I see how it was based and the thoughts that put in this character, it warms my heart.
Hmm. That's lovely. My last question for you. So most of the representation in American media and children's media is either doesn't mention religion, or if it does, it's usually set within the Judeo-Christian perspective. So you're you're a Muslim,
Yes.
and so for me, it's important to try and show a model within the show of faiths and religions being respected and given space for worship. All right, so it's been something I've been putting a lot of thought into, and I haven't actually told anybody this yet because this I don't think I've revealed this at all yet. So um, I've been I've been working on the the map of the community that they live in, right? And I was like, well, it's a small community. It's only a couple blocks. There's not much room, and and my instinct was to put a church somewhere in there, right? Because that's what I'm used to. Because that's what I grew up with. Because I grew up
Sure.
and I am a practicing
Yeah.
Christian.
Yeah.
And I realized, well, if there's only space for one place, it's not fair that the only place of worship is only centered on a Christian value, right? And so what I ended up doing is, so this is where it is, and this is
Yes.
the Riverwood Faith Center,
I
and it's a
was about,
space
yeah.
where
Yeah.
all of the leaders of the various faith-based communities in the town all pooled their money together to create one interfaith place of worship. And so we can show that here's the floor that has space for the mosque and for prayer and things like that. Here's space with confession booths for Catholics. Here's the place where people go to temple. There's places like that throughout this entire building, and all faiths are accepted. And so I've been thinking of like, oh, how do we do this where we can show like a model of like religions like respecting each other and giving each other space to worship. And it got me thinking about you, because like I don't think growing up, I don't know that I ever saw anything about Muslim traditions or religion on television. You being Muslim, I would assume you probably are way more aware of that. I could have very well just overlooked it because I wasn't looking for it. So, have you ever seen your religion like represented or respected on screen, big or small?
Yes, connected to terrorism.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna shy away from this. This is America, and this is our life here, and this is our experience here. They either represent Islam as a religion of killing and hate and terrorism, or represent Muslims as cabbies. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with cabbies,
Mm-hmm.
but this is misconceptions. It's not everybody, not every Muslim is a cabbie, and not every cabbie is a Muslim. Cabbies are hardworking people, but this is misrepresentation
Mm-hmm.
and microaggression. Looking at all the movies, which is like I can count on my hand how many movies that included Islam.
Mm-hmm.
It's either the traditional image of a family of the wife is oppressed, the children are in, they, you can tell they are othered, you know, and the husband is the head of the household. In my house, it's not like this. I'm not oppressed. My husband and myself are equal, and we raise our kids to respect and love everybody here. This is what I want to see in the media, because vast majority of us Muslims, Arabs, immigrants, we are like this. But all you get from the media is the misrepresentation and the connection to terrorism. I think the multi faith building that you thought of, I was about to tell you, multi faith. And sure enough, you already thought of it. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's very lovely. And I dream one day in our community, we're going to have this uh, center for all of us. It doesn't have to be religious practicing stuff. Although it can be, it could be a place where all meet, discuss, community space, because by the end of the day, we all are brothers and sisters, no matter what. And I refuse to let hate get under my skin and make me think otherwise.
Yeah, so it's funny that you mentioned that. So it's connected to this building. So the next wing of it is the community center
There you go.
with all of the sports facilities and things like
There
that, and
you
where kids
go.
can
Yeah.
play and daycare and things like that. But
Yeah.
it's connected to that. So like the town invested in one large building, like this huge building that has space for everyone to worship, right? Because for me, like the structure is just a structure. It's giving people the space to worship, right? And the freedom to worship. It's funny because we talk about this country being founded on freedom of religion, but it feels like it's founded on freedom for one
What
religion,
religion?
or for a couple accepted religions, and then the rest are just
Yes.
kind of
Yes.
marginalized.
Yes. Yeah.
um
I
and it's
hear you.
funny, and now, and it's funny because I said, oh, I don't think I've ever seen any representation of Muslims on television, but you were exactly right. I've seen tons of it, but it's just as terrorist on a procedural show, right? The FBI
Yeah.
have to like stop the terrorist, like.
Yeah. The image is a bearded man,
Hmm.
brown skin, bearded man running away from the authorities because he is a terrorist or because, he is found with explosive. I mean,
Hmm.
come on. Like,
Yeah.
how many of us did this? Why you take a whole group of people by the sin of one?
Hmm.
I'm not trying to minimize what some who hijacked the religion and did bad things in the name of Islam. I'm not trying to minimize that. And I
Hmm.
feel the pain of people who suffered. But at the same time, it's wrong to generalize because many of us just want to live and want to be part of this community. But the message is you don't belong, you are the others. And I feel this is how hate and terrorism and whatever ugly stuff going on, this is how they kind of put the seed of hate and bombarding young Muslim people with the message of you don't belong, you don't belong, you don't belong. And then poof. Again, not trying to make excuses, but I think the message needs to change, especially in this day and age. We had
Hmm.
4 years of ugliness.
Yeah.
It's time to shift the narrative a little bit.
Absolutely. Dima, I want to thank you so much for taking a few minutes out of your day to sit with me and talk about this character. I'm so happy that I was able to meet you and know you so that I could base this character off of you, because I think your experience is one that should be represented on screen, and I really look forward to being able to show um, positive images of Muslim Americans on this program. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm gonna thank you so much. And before we go, I would love it if you could plug your jewelry business. I see you're wearing some lovely jewelry there. I'm hoping as I say that this is something of your design.
Yes, this is all mine. I don't buy jewelries anymore. Yeah, I have a small home-based business called Dima Jewelry Designs, and my mission is to I love to give back to people, and I love to give back to my community. Every month, I find a cause close to my heart, and I donate to. This month and the coming months, I'm going to uh, myself and other crafters in Oak Park. We are doing fundraising to donate to represent Oak Park trustee candidates, and it's my pleasure. It's my absolute pleasure when I give back. It makes me feel good. So yeah,
That is awesome. So, those of you who are watching, look for Dima Jewelry Designs. You have a Facebook page, yes?
I have a Facebook page and I have an Etsy shop, all under the name Dima Jewelry Designs.
So look for her on Etsy or Facebook to buy some awesome jewelry. I've bought jewelry from her in the past. I can tell you that it is wonderfully made and of beautiful quality. Dima, thank you so much, and thank you
Thank
everybody for
you.
watching.